So we're going to start with the championship races. Straight into it. Here is your starter for 10, the champion hurdle on day one. Barry, we'll start with you. You're on the favourite. Bouvedere, you were going for the hat-trick. He looked absolutely sublime at Newcastle in front of the At The Races, now Sky Sports Racing cameras, when he blitzed Sam Crow, but beaten in the Christmas hurdle. And then he had that nonsense race in Sandown where we learned nothing. How is he since, and how happy are you with him as you go for the hat-trick?
He's in good form. He worked well last Saturday morning. I rode him in Nicky's. He's in good shape. He won the race in Sandown, as he's won it for the previous 2 years. You know, it's a box ticking exercise, if you like. He wouldn't be revved for it. It fits in well time-wise. It was obviously a bit of a shock. He was beaten in Kempton at Christmas. But on the same token, he beat the new one 12 months before that, and he wasn't overly impressive there. So I'd say it's a track that doesn't play to his strengths. Whereas I would feel Cheltenham does. He's been there now. He's won 2 champion hurdles. He was second to Altior on the Supreme Novice Hurdle. Third.
We have the swats up the front now, lads.
Was he third? What was second?
Min.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that Norval is here in the audience to correct Barry. To be fair, at the time, Jared Sullivan owned him, so it didn't really bother Barry at the time.
No.
To be fair, Barry, you did say it would have been second if you'd been on him, but Feely was on it, so you said, you know.
I said that to you discreetly, Matt.
There's nothing discreet about this panel.
Well, that's well.
Trust
Yeah.
me. Trust me.
So anyway, but it's obviously a much stronger race than it was going to be a few months ago. Apple's Jade, what she did in Leopardstown was brilliant. She showed great pace. I thought she was vulnerable over 2 mile on that ground, but she annihilated the opposition. So she's, sit up, take note. She's going to take beating. Lorena is still a little bit of an unknown.
You had some interesting points to make about her in your At The Races comment, because that was a 2-horse race and you were on the second. So can you give us your further assessment on Lorena?
She has been impressive. She was very impressive last season. It's hard to say she was impressive when she won in Punchestown last time. She beat all she had to beat, and she beat them, but she didn't tear them apart. The race in Sandown, the Filier Road travelled with her. She turned out to be in season and disappointed next time. So, you wouldn't have come away from that race saying, oh, well, that's the champion hurdle winner. But that's not saying she isn't going to threaten or she won't beat us. I think the ground will be on the slow side. She stays well, which obviously plays well then for both reasons in Cheltenham and on that ground. But I just wonder, would she have the pace to deal with the top 2? And I'd be more concerned about Apple's Jade than Lorena, really.
Of all the rides you have, how confident are you about Bouvedere?
I have a very good book of rides, but they're all, vying for favouritism. So I would be as confident in Bouvedere as I would be in others. I think he's, he has a task too. He's given £7 to the 2 fillies, but he has great course form, so it does count for a lot. Nicky Henderson has trained more champion hurdle winners than anyone else. He knows, especially with 2-milers, how to get them there. So you couldn't be any happier. You wouldn't swap him, but I'm just hoping for the right result.
And in your eyes, who's your biggest danger?
Oh, Apple's Jade is the biggest danger, no doubt. And Lorena's a dark one. Esport Allen's a dark one. Verdana Blue got beaten on the flat in Kempton lately. I don't think Sharjah is up to this level. Mellon hasn't been doing much this year. Brainpower could actually run well and could sneak into a place if he was ridden to be placed.
Okay. Matt, your assessment of the champion hurdle?
Look, there are a lot of cliches in horse racing, and Barry will probably reel out another one in a minute and say, you try winning a champion hurdle. But we know that Bouvedere has won 2 crap champion hurdles in reality. He's beaten Mellon and Mick Jazz last year. No one in this room is getting vaguely excited by that. And then the year before, he beat the old pensioner, My Ten's All Yours, who never wins, and Petit Mouchoir, who, again, no one is remotely excited about. So you've got the 2 place horses in both champion hurdles that are effectively in the great realms of things. They're all horses we'd love to own, and we'd love to have them and pat them at home. But as far as champion hurdles are concerned, they're really not very good horses in this kind of category. So for 2 potentially really good mares to get £7 from Bouvedere not only has to be, right at the top of his game, but the £7, which I personally don't think they should get anyway. I think they should all run off levels, but that's a different story. It's a big, big ask for Bouvedere, I think, this. And I actually think the opposite to Barry in that I think Lorena is the monster horse in this race. Although I'm really delighted Apples Jade's in there, I think this trip will probably be a bit short for her. And also, I don't think she's necessarily that good at Cheltenham, judged by her record so far. And added to that, I think the jockey's going to have to go off like the clappers. And it just sets it up for Lorena, who will get first run on Barry, stays stronger than Barry, and is a better horse than Barry, and it has Ruby Walsh on board. So
You know, Barry's not the horse. The horse is Bouvidere.
When you add all that cocktail together, you have a really good night out. So I'm all over Lorena. She's built like a brick house. She actually would give you a hell of a night out. She is a tremendous animal, and I'm very, very confident Lorena is going to destroy. I don't think she'll just win. I think she will absolutely destroy them, and I'm looking forward to the. Bouvidere is not see you then. Barry knows it, but he can't say it. He can't see in there and say, you know what, JP, you've mugged off 2 champion hurdles. He'd have to change his whole garden from little manor statues to actual gnomes. So it's just not going to happen. But I really genuinely, I mean, like, joking apart, I'm all over Lorena. I think she is just different gravy. She's another Annie Power. And when you get these mares getting these allowances, it's the allowance that just swings it so much in their favour. Barry, I mean, joking apart, £7.
Yeah. Barry, your retort there to Matt's very bullish assessment of Lorena.
Look at what did they
Can't
say?
disagree with anything I said. They were shit champion hurdles.
They were, yeah, on the book, but
What do you mean on the book? It is the book.
so
Can someone make a gif of Barry's face, please?
it's yeah, Bouvidere definitely wasn't at his best last year. There was no secret made of that. He didn't make it to Aintree last year as he was so hungover after being unwell in Cheltenham. So, but he put up a good performance in the fight in 5th.
What happens if he has a sore throat this time around? And, to be fair to the race, he's won 16 of his 20 races. But if you go through, he's like 1 to 5, 1 to 4, 1 to 16. You know, it's been a very poor
Does that not
division.
speak for itself?
Yeah, he's running against absolute crap.
Yeah.
How many champions has Lorena beaten?
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
it's a fair point to make,
The
though, isn't it?
cliche king is back.
All right, well, let's bring...
There's another article being prepped.
Let's bring in the cliche king, Kevin Blake.
I'm hearing words, but I'm not hearing an answer.
Good man, Blake. That's it.
Oh,
There'll be a fight in the car park afterwards, and it'll be on pay-per-view and at the races. Blake, your assessment of the champion hurdle. There's a lot been said here, and we've only heard from 2 voices. So bring some sense to this conversation. What do you assess the champion hurdle like?
Oh, Lorena's a certainty.
I've always said he's very intelligent. It's like,
No, look, I think it's very tight between the top 2. Lorena, I don't want to knock her, but for me, it's probably between the front 2. I'd be in the camp that would go along with that. Bouvidere maybe hasn't achieved as much as you'd expect a 2-time champion hurdler to have achieved, but this is his chance. He's going to have to give £7 to 2 proper mares, and if he can win this, that's his legacy sealed. But I think if he gets beat here, history will judge him a little bit harshly, which won't necessarily be fair, but I think that's the reality. One thing you'd say
Barry's
is
bank balance won't, though.
money's in the bank.
No, the money, but that's exactly it, isn't it?
But
show me the money.
In terms of the way the race is going to pan out, it should pan out beautifully for it should pan out beautifully for Bouvidere, you'd imagine, because Charlie Parks is in there. It's no secret what he'll do. Apples Jade will be bang up there. If they're not going fast enough for Apples Jade, she can go on. Global Citizen is there. All the ingredients are there for it to be a proper, well-run champion hurdle, and that will definitely suit Bouvidere. He's a speed horse, so he'll have every chance. Apples Jade, her course form would worry you a small bit, but you have to view it in the context that she just looks much better this season, and she hasn't run at Cheltenham this season. So we'll find out more about her at Cheltenham in the champion hurdle, but I wouldn't like to use it as a stone to throw at her. If you put a gun to my head, it's probably Apples Jade, but only it's a very, very marginal opinion.
Okay, so Apples Jade just about for you. Tony, this race has transformed from Bouvidere being an odds-on favourite when he won the Fighting 5th to now being a very open renewal. He's just about favourite ahead of Apples Jade, Lorena. Is this an appealing betting race to you at all?
I would see Apple's Jade going off favourite. Like, she's strong in the market every day she's run. She's an absolute public horse. Boover's been soft enough the last couple of days in the betting to me. She's the horse on the up. And to be honest, I would make her a bet at 2s. I think Boover's best piece of form is the first champion hurdle that he won. I think Apple's Jade ran to similar level at Leopardstown, but then she's getting the £7. So you're looking at Apple's Jade, who has similar form, plus the £7, and Boover's form is 2 years old. And she is absolutely thriving this season, to my mind. A lot of red herrings there, but stuff about not handling Cheltenham. There's been an excuse every day. She was the Triumph Hurdle. She was coming off a horrible preparation. She was in season last year. I just think she's in such good form. She's going to be very, very tough to beat. Lorena's the X factor. I think Bouverdale has to be better than ever to beat Apple's Jade. I don't know if you agree with that, Barry, but I think he actually does. He does actually have to be better than ever.
She probably is the biggest challenge he faces, or has faced in the champion hurdle. You couldn't judge him on last year because he did underperform. But no, I would completely accept it. You sit up and you take note. You have the champion hurdle won when you have Apple's Jade beaten, but that's not saying that he won't. Yeah,
oh, absolutely. He could well do that. And I'd also be slightly worried about really good ground for Bouverdale. They're talking about rain, they're on and off about water. And like the whole talk about Bouverdale, the first run round his champion hurdle was he wanted soft ground. Like that, he was drifting the bet, and soft never came from. And like he was fine, he handled it, and he got soft last year. So I think she probably is more suitable, maybe to a bit of better ground. But yeah, I would see her going off favourite rather than him. That would be my read on the market anyway. And I would like her 2 to 1.
Okay, and Jamie, if you had the pick of the rides in the race, who would it be?
To be honest, I'd love to see Apple's Jade just going out and proving that she's the queen of all mares. Like she deserves it. She's 7-year-old. She's 9 Grade 1s won. She's a fantastic mare, and I just hope to God that she goes out and just shows what she's been doing this year. You know, her performances. Look, I've never ridden against her, but the lad said today in the Hatton's Grace was just incredible. The speed they went early. They all came back in and just said, my God, she absolutely blew them away. And then she backed it up in Leopardstown. I have no doubt. I think she'll win. She's in savage nick. She went around, she done her last bit around Navan there today. She's in great nick. She's kicking, she's biting, she's been a right little bitch. But that's her. That is her, and when she's like that, I'd say no horse is going to get near her. The other side of it as well, last year there has been excuses, as Tony said. Her cycles have been controlled this year. As Davy Russell said, women at this time of the year, it's hard to figure out, but in fairness...
And to be fair, Davy would know. Historically.
Bit harsh now, but he has previous form.
Well, I'm manipulating cycles. I'm not absolutely sure about that, but...
But
Barry,
no, they've done a great job controlling that this year, and no, look at she's the queen of the pack now for me.
And given how adamant the O'Learys were that she was going to go for the Mayor's Hurdle, like she won the Irish Champion Hurdle in devastating style. Eddie immediately said Mayor's Hurdle, but the very next day confirmed for the champion. That has to be a tip in itself.
Yeah, look at as Gordon said. Eddie and Gordon will trash it out, but then Michael will ultimately make the decision, you know, and he did. He came back the next day and said she was going for the champion hurdle, and they're right. You know, there's too many of these horses, they kind of sidetrack races. They have a mare, she's in great nick, the champion hurdle is there, they're going to be taking on a great champion in Bouverdale, but it is there to be won, and the £7 is going to be a big thing on the day as well. I think it's all set up for Apple's Jade on the day.
Okay, Lorena for Matt.
We learned a lot about Eddie, didn't we? We really did with this horse, Kevin. Like, it's clear, Eddie is literally the boot cleaner. Michael is the man who actually owns the boots.
That now is a comment from a man who knows that he's not going to be broadcasting here for the next 4.5 years. So it's perfectly fine.
He might be getting home either.
The thing is, though, Eddie's going to be at Cheltenham. And we'll see how much of an interview that Matt can get with Eddie at Cheltenham, how that one works out.
I don't think Michael O'Leary is buying these horses. It's Eddie O'Leary.
It's Eddie buys these horses, and well, Eddie's watching tonight, so good luck with that one, Matt.
There's every chance Eddie's booking the pilots as well, I think.
Who's flying you home?
Hey! Ladies and gentlemen at Ryanair, I believe his flight is 5 a.m. Watch out for him.
On the basis I want luggage with me, I will go Aer Lingus.
But just a quick one for Barry there. Espoir d'Alan, I know you know him well. Would you be surprised if he's up to this now, or would he be one in the back of your mind that you're a little bit worried about?
And I wouldn't be shocked. He is a very good horse. He's a very good juvenile. Disappointed once. He put in an ordinary performance when he won in Nace last time, but I think he's better than that. He's not in that intermediate year as a 5-year-old. He'd have to step up a good bit to be involved, but he is a very good horse, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him rock up and run a big race.
If you owned Bouverdare and you've got Espoir Allen in there who you know cannot win, wouldn't you do a bit of golden freeze and try and take on Apple's Jade for the lead and try and ruin her?
They have Charlie Parks for that.
Yeah, that's his job.
Will you do a bit of prep, will you? Jesus.
How long do you think that horse will keep up with Apple's Jade? Not very long. Espoir Allen will keep up longer. If you just watch Coolmore, they have more than one spoiler. You have got this fixed, haven't you?
And moving swiftly along, Matt Chapman goes for Lorena, Kevin, Tony,
Team McManus.
Jamie Codd and myself all go for Apple's Jade. Barry obviously hoping that he can land a hat-trick on Bouverdare and follow in the footsteps of Isterbrack, although Matt Chapman would deny that he is ever in that grade.